So you want me to stay for this question, Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, it's recording if you want.
Oh, it's recording?
Yeah, it's recording now.
Alright. Joe? Do you think it's a must-win game for the Lakers tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah? I just think,
Yeah.
lots on the line with LeBron's legacy, it being so early in the season. It's very important for them to get off to a hot start.
They don't, you never know.
Welcome back to the most unprofessional sports podcast in the world. This is Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, here with my co-host today, Aaron and Joe. Go ahead and say hi, guys. That was bad. That was really bad. Yeah, that might be the worst one yet.
Edit
Edit it. So yeah, we're gonna talk about NFL in this podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So, as far as the NFL goes, the officiating was really bad this week. I can point to a few games off the top of my head that may have went differently had we had actual referees who knew what they were doing on the field at the time. The Jaguars-Saints game, I think, comes to... No, I'm thinking of the Giants game the week before. The Browns-Colts game was really bad. Browns got a million opportunities there at the end, thanks to the officiating.
Just real quick on a tangent. If you told me at the beginning of the week that was going to be like the most exciting game, I'd have called you a liar.
The Browns-Colts was a heck of a game.
That was
Two backup
Gardner was out there putting on a show, boys.
Gardner Minshew, P.J. Walker coming in for Deshaun Watson after he threw like 5 terrible passes. Deshaun looks like he should just retire at this point. Because
he doesn't want to play.
He looks like he doesn't want to play. I don't understand. He's got like the best defense in the league, and he doesn't want to play for the team. But hey, P.J. Walker will step in there and get you a W. Large part thanks to the refs. And then the number one game that people are talking about as far as poor officiating goes, Eagles-Dolphins. Eagles not getting called for a single penalty the entire game. Anytime that happens, that's a little fishy, if we're being honest. Like, anytime an NFL team goes an entire football game, an entire 60 minutes without one penalty, not a hold, not a false start, not an offsides, not one penalty, not even like a kick out of bounds, not a roughing the passer, not a pass interference, not a defensive holding, you're just gonna let me keep going on with penalties, okay?
I ain't mad at you. I know what you mean.
Yeah, not a single penalty called on the Philadelphia Eagles all game. What are your thoughts on that, Aaron? Like how did the Eagles get away? I'm sure everyone's seen the posts on social media. There's several plays where Eagles could have easily been called for something, anything, one thing, here, there, anywhere. What are your thoughts on the officiating?
Not, this isn't just the Eagles, but I've seen multiple tackles getting off on exactly like Juwan Taylor did in week 1.
Lane Johnson. I know exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about Lane Johnson.
It's so annoying that it got spotlighted in that one game, and he gets picked on for like 3 weeks.
Bad,
every
too.
tackle in the league does it. Every good tackle in the league does it. It's so annoying.
Absolutely.
Just because it's the Chiefs and they win.
Yeah. Joe, you're a little less Chiefs fixated than we.
I personally, I get what you guys are saying. It's all eyes on it. But Juwan Taylor was also the example that had to be set for it.
He was really bad about it.
I mean,
he called a penalty, but call it fairly across
for
the league.
everyone.
Yeah.
Because there were so many examples, especially Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson's cut it close on some. I think Yeah. I mean, Lane Johnson, I think
Jackson
some
did
of the times he cuts it close, but I didn't blame Jawan Taylor as bad as everyone else did. I played O-line, so hey, if I gotta get out there, I'm gonna do what I can to try to get out there. It's up to them to call it. But on that same note, there was some pretty bad calls in that game. Even the missed face mask
Yeah,
on
that was
the
bad.
on the ball on the left side,
Mhm.
right? That was the Eagles game, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but like that, like you can't miss when you see the guy's head turn in the
Yeah, not
middle
when
of
you
trying
see
to
it go
catch the
from
ball. Like
here
you,
to here.
yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't want to be a ref. I wouldn't want to be in that job, especially nowadays with like how many cameras there are on you to show you that you fucked up. But I mean, there are still ones that it's just like if you are a professional referee, that is your job. You're a pro at it. You're better than a lot of people. There's some
Supposed to
that
be.
you feel like you just can't miss.
Yeah.
Not repeatedly. That's the bad part. It's not just one missed call like that Colts Browns game. Like there's multiple in one
Yeah, it was
series
like
that
3 in a
really
row.
affected the game.
It was like 3
Yeah.
in a row at the end of that Colts Browns game. It was bad.
When it piles up is when it gets like really bad. There can be
Yeah.
one bad call that goes either way, but
Right.
it's been pretty egregious across the league right
Well,
now.
and it seems like it's the team that's supposed to win that gets the calls every time. I think that's what's really frustrating people right now.
Someone did say the head ref of that crew. Maybe I'm wrong. Allegedly, this was something I saw, but apparently that he is from Pennsylvania, like maybe an hour or 60 miles from the stadium, and has been in trouble in the past for unethical refereeing.
See, I don't know if you've been.
That doesn't really line up too hot when you realize, like, man, the Eagles are quote unquote supposed to win,
They're
and they
supposed to
sure
win,
did.
right,
It
exactly.
doesn't look that good, so it's hard to defend at this point. It really is.
Yeah. Aaron, what were you saying?
I was asking if that was the same guy that got banned from the ACC championship game last year.
No, that was the Browns and Colts ref, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but it was one of those two. Yeah, him and his crew were the ones banned from ACC. If I'm correct,
It's
which
just
I'm not even.
I don't know. Is it just me? Maybe the camera angles are better, the technology's better, whatever it may be. It seems like this may be the worst officiated season since the temporary referees came into play back in from 2013 or whatever it was.
And then cams weren't this bad.
And they weren't even this bad. Exactly. Yeah. Like it seems like every week we have one big game that was decided by a penalty or the lack thereof. And just basically coming down to bad officials. Like Aaron, is that kind of? Am I wrong to think that?
You're wrong, necessarily. I think that's recency bias. We feel like this
Maybe.
every year.
Yeah, maybe
There's
you're
always
right.
a big game in a week that, we're talking about the officials instead of the game. So
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of recency bias.
Because I don't think people realize how big that Browns Colts game could end up being down the line. Like that could end up deciding who's the 7th seed in the AFC or the AFC playoffs. Do what?
The Bills-Giants game.
Yeah. That's another one. Exactly. Like the Giants arguably should have won that game, but they didn't blow the whistle on what you could argue that PI, the play before, shouldn't have been called and it was a makeup. That's kind of what I saw as a fan just watching. It seemed like they didn't call the PI on the last play because they called the PI on the play prior. But if anything, the last play was more egregious than the play prior. So I don't know. Of course, the Bills lost this week, so at that point they'd be have 3 losses. They'd be looking really bad. But enough of the officiating.
I got a question for you too.
Go ahead.
How does it feel when the calls are going your way? What's that like?
Wouldn't know.
Being that team that gets all the calls,
Wouldn't
huh?
know. Wouldn't know.
What do you mean?
Oh.
What do you mean? I don't know.
What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. Don't play dumb.
It's pretty nice, honestly. It's pretty nice. It's good to be on that side
Good
of
for you
things for
guys.
once. Yeah. It's, you
It
know,
was
you
all
had to
for
deal
years
with
with another quarterback.
a,
So
a
I just
decade and a half of some motherfucker up in New England getting all of those calls, and it's just nice to be on the other side of things. That's all I can say.
congratulations.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's gonna be a new tuck rule thanks to us here pretty soon. Don't worry about it. Although, hey, at least, hey, if
Yeah, it'll be
Mahomes,
you can't touch the quarterback.
if Mahomes
Ever.
was succeeding with the tush push, I bet your ass that thing would have been outlawed by now. That's all I'm gonna say.
No
That's all I'm gonna
chance.
say. That's all I'm gonna say.
No chance.
It would already be gone. It'd already be
No
gone.
chance. Everybody would want it out the league except for the NFL league, except for the league office. They'd be the only people to leave that thing in there. Just because, well,
Yeah, everybody would
that's what
want
we
it
need.
except for the Mahomes.
That's what we need. Everyone let Mahomes and the Chiefs get like 4 or 5 tush pushes, go perfect 4 for 4, 5 for 5, and then this whole thing is gone.
In one
No
game.
one,
It's gone,
Gotta be one
exactly.
game.
no one brings it up about it.
Exactly.
Let them
It's
go
gone.
100% in one game.
I don't know why. The only reason Andy Reid doesn't do it is because Mahomes might get hurt. Last time he did a QB sneak with Mahomes, turned his ankle. Damn near was out for the year. So
It's like, we can't even do a QB sneak with a tight end at quarterback. Why would we want to try it with Patrick Mahomes?
yeah, like honestly, that's what we
Bad
should be
enough
doing.
for
Yeah,
short, to-go situations. Let's just,
we'd rather just
Mahomes
throw
on
it
the
70 yards down the field on third and
100%.
one.
I would 100%
Yeah.
rather do it
31.
than run it. But Mahomes either pass it or scramble for the first down. I don't want to put the ball in freaking Edwards-Hilaire's hands.
No.
I don't want to try and do a freaking
Oh,
zone run up the middle. with
you remember the
check down.
Kadarius Toney fucking wildcat play we ran against the Broncos?
Hey.
What in the world was that?
I hate Andy Reid's trick plays
They're
like
gross.
that. Like anything wildcat
Yeah.
or double pass, they're disgusting.
Mm.
Stop it. Just stick with your Rose Bowl spin, your snow globe. That's fine. But anything when you try and get too fancy, you fuck it up and we just look bad.
I just love how Kadarius Toney, he could have handed it off for like an easy first down. Instead, he kept it for a 1-yard loss. It was so like what are you doing, bro? Just give it up. So we talked about a little bit the Dolphins-Eagles game. In my opinion, my humble opinion, might I add, very humble,
Opinions.
very humble, very humble of an opinion of me. The Dolphins are frauds. They've played 2 good teams this year, the Bills and now the Eagles. And they've lost both games by double digits. So, in my opinion, if you can't beat good teams, I don't think you're good. Prove me wrong.
The Bills are good too.
Are the Bills a good team?
Yeah.
I think the Bills are...
They got 3 losses. Arguably could be 4.
They have 3. I think they only had 2.
No, they lost to the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Patriots.
Well, how about that? Are the Bills a good team? No, but they should be. They're just worse. They're just underperforming. Are the Eagles a
I
good
kinda
team?
agree
Yeah.
with you.
The Eagles are a good team. Yes, the Eagles are a good team.
Yes.
The Bills should be. They're just not playing up to their potential. And if the Bills are a bad team, well, then the Miami Dolphins lost to a bad team by like 3 or 4 scores.
Yeah.
What do you mean, nah?
I said, yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
helping your point.
Oh, yeah.
I disagree with you, but I was helping your point.
Well, then what is your opinion on the Dolphins?
I think they're still trying to find their way, beating the good teams. They obviously do well enough against the bad teams, but
Like the
it's just
Broncos.
finding their ways to win against, the top teams to the teams that you're going to face in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I think that's definitely a big obstacle that they have to overcome. What do you think, Joe?
Well, yeah.
I don't think they're frauds. Not
Really?
yet. I think it's too early. My big reasoning is because they're injuries. Like, you have Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard both not playing yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Both those dudes healthy have been top corners in the league,
For sure.
especially Jalen Ramsey. So, like, I think does that mean the game changes completely yesterday? No, but I don't. I think they also had one or two starting old linemen that were already out to start the game and lost a third one in the middle of the game. Like, I think a lot of it has to do with health. Their offense still looked good for the most part, but I mean, they sometimes, I guess they look good. They only did put up one touchdown, I think, offensively. They struggled, but defensively, I think it gives them a little bit better of a chance once they're healthy, if they have a healthy O-line. So, I'm not gonna count them out yet. The Bills are a bigger question mark to me
That's
than
fair.
the Dolphins, because at least the Dolphins have injuries. I don't know the Bills' injuries. I haven't
Well,
like, looked into that or nothing.
Yeah,
But
they
they
have.
have severely underperformed though with the talent that you see on paper on that roster. There's no way they should have had the games they've had.
Yeah, defensively, the Bills have been kind of decimated by injuries. Tre'Davious White going down. Jonathan Ming. I think it's Jonathan Mingo is his name. No, who's the linebacker for the Bills that went down, Aaron?
For the Bills?
Yeah. Oh crap! I'm forgetting his name. It's not Jonathan. Whatever his name is.
Not Matt Milano.
Matt Milano. Yeah, he's out.
Oh,
He's
is he out?
Yeah, he's out right now. He got hurt against
Oh,
against last week, I think. Week 6.
so he didn't play this weekend.
Right, that's correct.
Oh, okay. See, that dude. He's a monster.
Yeah, Matt Milano
defense goes with him.
runs that defense. So
Mhm.
Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano being out, I think they're both out for the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, what?
Those are
I knew
yeah,
Tre'Davious White was, but oh man.
yeah, yeah. So I think that's huge for the Bills. I think that's a big reason they've been underperforming. It hasn't so much been the offense. The offense have maybe been trying to overcompensate for the defense. But that's actually my next topic is the Bills roller coaster over there. Losing to the Patriots, that's inexcusable, whether you have Matt Milano or not. I don't know how you lose to the Patriots as the Buffalo Bills. Losing to Mac Jones is just absolutely inexcusable, in my opinion. I don't know how you lose to Mac Jones, but the Bills found a way. Aaron, are
Milano
you?
is out for the year. Sorry to cut you off.
Matt Milano is out for the year.
Fractured his leg and had to have surgery.
Yeah, I thought that's what I heard on First Things First or Speak or something like that earlier this week or last week, something like that. But Aaron, are you concerned about the Bills right now? Because Joe brought up a really good point. The Bills are underperforming, whether they have Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White or not. Those are obviously two huge injuries for that defense. Arguably the two best players on that defense out for the year now. But the Bills just losing to the Patriots, whether they have those guys or not, you could argue they should have beat that team.
Their offense falls all on Josh Allen, and he's kind of not the best start to the season. It kind of feels like he's regressed, like second-year Josh Allen, where he's just kind of
Yeah.
not taking real good care of the football and just some bad throws here and there. But I think they'll bounce back here towards the middle and later in the season. I'm not super worried. I think they'll definitely make the playoffs. Whether or not they win their division, I think it's kind of up in there.
Man, see, you said that they have a good chance of like coming back later in the season. Some of the teams they play. I mean, they have the Bengals here in 2 weeks. Then 3 weeks after that, they have the Eagles. Then the week after that, they have the Chiefs. And the week after that, they have the Cowboys. And then the last game of the season, they have the Dolphins. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4 5 games they could easily lose.
Those Cowboys in here?
The Cowboys?
Yeah, do you think Cowboys?
I said
Threw
I
them
said,
in there, and he was correct in leaving off the Chargers. Good job. I was wondering if you were going to throw them in there.
No, yeah.
Well, sorry. My goodness.
I think the Bills could lose to the Cowboys for sure. Yeah, no, I definitely think they could. The Bills are the Cowboys of the AFC. What do you mean?
You left your Baker-led Bucks out of there too.
Okay. let's not nitpick.
So we
what
jumped
teams,
off the Baker train, huh?
Let's not nitpick
After
with the
didn't go
teams
down with
I
his
left
ship.
off. Let's look at the teams I kept on. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa. Those are all quarterbacks that the Bills have to play before the regular season is over.
They've already beat the Dolphins once.
And they lost to the Patriots. They lost to Mac Jones. I mean, I don't know. A lot of things change in 2 weeks.
They also lost to the Jets.
They did lose to Zach Wilson. That's not a good one. That's not.
You
a
guys
good
think?
Aaron Rodgers had a crucial contribution to that game.
one. Shut up. He didn't do shit. He got hurt like the second play of the game.
It was an emotional contribution, okay?
Like an emotional toll on them.
It was.
Bring
Yeah.
You guys think that? 'Cause I was wondering this myself. Do you think that all the preseason hype? Because after the Super Bowl, damn near the Bills were like right back up to like next season's.
That's every year
Oh,
with them. But
I
yeah.
know that, but like, do you like? I feel like it was even more so this year after what we saw them do in the regular season last year. Do you think any of that has maybe like be accredited to as to why maybe their start has been outside of the two major injuries they have? But you think that could have accredited to it, like how Aaron said, like Josh Allen, like
I mean,
missing some throws that he seemed to make all year last year and just overthrowing some guys, like trying too hard. Do you think that maybe
I think part of it
had
could,
some on it?
yeah.
On the offensive side of the ball.
They're habitual underperformers. So you give them like an expectation, they're gonna not meet that every year. That's just who the Bills are. That's who Josh Allen is, if we're being honest. I don't want to be a dick, but Josh Allen underperforms every single year. They have him. They say Josh Allen MVP. This is the year. This is the year. Josh Allen's gonna win the MVP. He's gonna win the AFC. Every single year, they're fucking wrong. Every time. So that's just who the Bills are at this point. They just underperform expectations every single year. Every single year. That's just who they are. They'll be like a
Blame
top.
him last year, though, for
Do
his
what?
Injured elbow.
Do-
Can you blame him last year for his injured elbow?
No. Patrick Mahomes had he's always injured. Patrick Mahomes is hurt every single season going into the playoffs.
Okay.
You know what he does? He makes the AFC Championship game
not his
or
arm.
the Super Bowl.
It's literally his job to throw the ball, and he's got.
It's his glass
Fucked up
ankles.
elbow.
That's what it is.
It is. He's got some glass lower body extremities. But no, I think I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of Josh Allen being put in the same category as like a Joe Burrow or a Patrick Mahomes. He underperforms every single season, and this year he'll be lucky to win 10 games. Like, at this point, he'll be lucky to win 10 games. He could lose to the Bengals. He could lose to the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Dolphins. I know he beat the Dolphins already. He could easily lose to them the last time they play them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more losses on top of 3. That's 8 losses. He's all of a sudden 9-8.
Could be a tie in there.
Do what?
A tie?
A tie? You think a tie's in there?
Yeah.
With who?
Maybe the Cowboys.
Maybe the Cowboys. I mean, that would be the one team.
The Chargers will scare him and then go for it on 4th and 15 and lose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, shoot. Yeah, let's talk about it. Brandon Staley, worst head coach in the NFL. Am I wrong for
No.
saying that? No.
Yeah.
You think I'm wrong for saying that?
Yeah.
Who do you think is the worst head coach?
Sean Payton.
He ain't doing much better than Hackett did last year, I'll tell you
Well,
that.
I will say this. The bottom 3 head coaches might all be in the AFC West, and Andy Reid's not one of them.
McDaniel, is that his
I was
name?
supposed to be a powerhouse this year.
The Raiders? Oh, the Raiders head coach is terrible.
Yeah, Josh McDaniel. He's not good. Josh McDaniel is not good. Brandon Staley is not good. Sean Payton this year?
He's down there now.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that low. I don't think he's at the same level as Brandon
Last
Staley
year
and Josh
they asked
McDaniel.
him, like, if you lose this game, you won't make the playoffs. He was like, oh, really?
Oh, I do remember that. But they didn't fire him, so that's gotta count for something.
Yeah, and what's his name? Taylor Heineke's the whole reason that Sam Howell's the starter now. Because he was like, you need to give this guy a shot for the very last game of the season. Ron Rivera's like, where'd you get this guy?
Sam Howell was on the team last year? I didn't even know that.
Sam Howell was he was like their practice squad quarterback, and
Yeah.
they never played it. It's like, basically when Ron Rivera was like, started him, they was like, yeah,
Oh,
we
he's a
didn't know this
rookie.
guy could do this.
I thought he was a rookie. Shows you how much I know about Sam Howell. He's having a good year, though. Like all things considered, Sam Howell's having a pretty good year. He's on pace to be sacked more than
over there,
any
man.
quarterback in NFL history, and he's not doing too bad. He's not doing too bad.
If they can get him an old line, they got some weapons over there. Like that offense at least could.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like a top offense, but they could.
Hey, Terry
they could definitely
McLaurin,
be a team out there
Curtis
scaring some
Samuel,
people.
Jahan Dotson. Those are all 3 like legitimate targets.
Brian
Robinson,
Robinson are your two
Antonio.
backs.
Yeah, those are 2 good running backs. Like they've got legitimate weapons over there. They just have no
With the
offensive
most
line.
sacked quarterback. You
Yeah,
need a block
yeah,
for the guy, man.
yeah.
You guys might be pretty decent.
I wish the Chiefs could have like Curtis Samuel, or Jahan Dotson, or even Terry McLaurin, because that's probably the hardest to get. But
Oh, you mean you don't want that Hall of Fame cast you guys have had for the last 3 years?
hey, I think McCole Hardman coming back was a huge deal.
He looks like a new player in a good way.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he figured his shit out, you know? Like, oh, fuck, I was this close to being, like, cast away. I got my second chance at life, my second lease on life.
He wasn't that close. He was cast away. You got to let that fool go.
Well, yeah. But I mean, from the NFL
a championship team, that hurts, though. Like, when you're on a championship team multiple years, you get sent out,
Yeah.
that's got to make you look in the mirror and be like, "Hey, maybe I ain't that good, actually. Like, maybe I do need somewhere, you know."
It was time.
Good for him.
Yeah.
You know, I hope he balls out for you guys. I thought that was a big move because I think that should scare that wide receiver room. I think it should scare everybody except MVS.
Yeah, I think Rashee Rice is the only one.
Rashee Rice will get his targets, but I mean, like Sky Moore, Darius, everybody
those
after
guys.
that, I think needs to be worried. Like,
agree.
no, that dude, they brought him in, and he could easily step into a number 2 receiver role.
Oh, for sure. He could easily take Kadarius Toney's place right now. Kadarius Toney, what has he done this year? Kadarius Toney has been like non-existent this year. Rashee Rice is the only receiver worth writing home about as far as the Chiefs go. MVS finally had a good game. But Kadarius Toney,
I think MVS needs more targets, but that's just me personally.
I can see that argument. But he's also had some bad drops this year, so that could be why. That could attribute to why Patrick Mahomes is less likely to throw him the ball. But Kadarius Toney's been downright terrible. He can't get open. He can't catch the ball. Like,
is his foot not fully healed or whatever?
I have no idea. He should be fine. He plays every week. He suits up every week. Aaron, do you have any idea as to what's up with Kadarius?
Okay. I have kind of a hot take here, and you might not like it.
I might like it.
I think Travis Kelce is too good at what he does, finding his little holes. I think him and Mahomes' chemistry is too good, because I think at times Mahomes stares too long at Kelce.
I
and
don't hate your take at all, actually.
doesn't notice other receivers running open.
Yeah. I don't hate
Hard
your
to
take
blame
at
him
all.
when you have like a 99% completion percent. I mean,
I
what is it? Haven't they connected on like the last 26 straight or something like that now?
It was
May
like 29
probably.
straight, but then he had one that was broken up.
Okay.
last
So
game.
again, yeah, like when you have a connection like that, like I can't blame Mahomes. Like,
yeah.
watching your guys out, everyone freaking knows. When in doubt, that ball's going to Kelsey. Everyone in the stadium knows. But what happens? Yep, Kelsey still got it. He still goes for another 20 yards, and you're like, all right, well, you set it down for the freaking Chiefs again. And then what happens? Oh, another third down, big time play. Travis Kelsey there to do it. Like, I don't hate it. I don't hate the take at all. I completely see why. And I also completely understand why Mahomes keeps
Yeah.
just throwing the ball at him because
No, I totally get
my
that
receivers got 3 drops today. Yeah, screw that. Kelsey getting 15 of these balls going right at him.
I don't know that I like formulated it into words, but I totally see what you're saying. Absolutely. Like, I mean, you know, when Tyreek left, I think that kind of is what Patrick Mahomes kind of defaulted to. Like, all right, unless someone is wide the fuck open, I'm going to Travis, because who else did he have to rely on? You know. MVS was brand new at that point, and he's still obviously he's not super comfortable throwing him the ball for whatever reason. Throws it to him every now and then, but really, unless MVS is wide open, he's not getting the ball. Kadarius Toney, he's really not getting the ball unless he's wide open. Sky Moore, he's not really getting the ball unless he's wide open. So Travis Kelce's really the only one, and then Rashee Rice to an extent you started to see. He's getting there. He's starting to trust Rashee a little bit more. But up until then, Travis Kelce was really the only one he'd be willing to throw a ball up to. Like, oh, Travis is down there somewhere. Fuck it. Let me just toss it up. See what happens.
Throw it up to Justin Watson for some reason.
I don't know what his relation. Yeah, I don't get his relationship with Justin Watson. Whatever that relationship was Justin Watson, it was incredible. But he's out for the next like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it may be. So, and Richie James, very underwhelming as far as punt returning game. I was disappointed to see that. I thought Richie James was going to be a really good weapon for us, not just in the returning game, but also in the receiving game. Didn't really get any opportunities as far as receiving went. Punt returns was really shaky. And then Justin Ross got freaking arrested, so that's great.
I think he's also facing domestic abuse charges now.
Justin Ross?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he got arrested this week, Joe. Like yesterday or 2 days ago. One of the two. So, yeah.
Back to that, what you guys were talking about before the arrested thing. But I want to know, I'd love to be like a fly on the wall and see like how much of it though too is also accredited to like play calling.
Yeah.
Like when you call plays, you have, yes, there's reads you have to make, and yes, it depends on the defense. But at the same time, when you draw up the play, a lot of times you have it where, hey, you see this kind of, okay, that's the number 1 guy you want to go to. That's number 2, 3. Like, yes, it's a progression as you play, but you still have a guy that you are hoping to get open with that concept. And it makes me wonder how many of those plays that are called are also to make Kelsey. Like, how much of it is Andy Reid also having the confidence of, F it, we're just going to go for that guy, and we're just going to draw stuff up all day to get him open. Versus how much is it also just Mahomes saying, F it, I don't care what the play call is, I'm looking at Travis first, and so he's not open. Like, it really looks like
I think it's about 50-50.
Travis isn't open, and I start looking around.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I see,
I'm waiting
too.
till Travis's route is done before I look at options 2, 3, and 4, which
that's exactly what I see.
Don't blame him for.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Joe. I think that's exactly what I see. I see, like, whether it's what the play design is called, and I think it's probably kind of 50-50 as far as that goes. I think half the time it is Andy Reid being like, Travis Kelce is the obvious number 1 target on this play call because he's the best player we have as far as pass catching goes. And I think the other half of the time is like Mahomes dialing in on Kelsey for a little too long and then being like, okay, he's obviously not going to get open. Let me see what else there is. And then by that point, he's got nothing else.
Scramble.
Do what?
It's like he doesn't. It's a his progression. It seems like is Kelsey, and then scramble and
yeah.
throw it to somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no in pocket progression. It feels like.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, it seems like he looks at Kelsey off the snap. If Kelsey's not open, he runs around a little bit, looks around. If he can't find anything, he just sprints upfield, or he goes with Kelsey. Yeah. He either sprints upfield for the first down, or he throws to Kelsey in double coverage. And Kelsey somehow still catches the ball because he's the greatest tight end in NFL history. But yeah.
Receiving tight end.
Receiving tight end.
Clarify that, please.
Receiving tight end. I still can't believe Reagan argued with me about it. Aaron, who's your greatest tight end of all time? Receiving tight end of all time, I guess.
Receiving tight end of all time?
Yeah.
It's got to be Travis Kelsey.
Okay. I had a buddy who argued that Tony Gonzalez still. See, I had someone argue me with that the greatest tight end of all time was Travis Kelsey the other night, and I was like, I think it's a little outdated, buddy. I think 2 years ago you might have been onto something. But that was 2 years ago. Now we're at
Still
today.
don't think he's quite there for overall tight end. I think he still has to do more in the receiving, and as crazy as that sounds.
Travis Kelsey does?
To make up for, yeah. I mean,
To make up
That's
for
why
his
he
lack of a
argued
block.
to say that it was still Tony was because of the stats, and we both know he's crazy about the historical numbers.
He is
Specifically.
Yeah.
So
This is a,
considering
yeah.
Tony has all
Mutual
those
friend
records, I
between
think
me and
he's
Joe.
waiting till that.
I guess, but I mean, no other tight ends ever had that many consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. I think that alone kind of speaks for itself. But
I think he is.
He's
Like,
also
receiving tight end, yes.
revolutionized
I think he's.
position.
Yeah.
There weren't really any tight ends that were asked almost purely to catch the ball until now.
yeah, I mean, you could easily
He's been
argue
the
Travis
closest thing
Kelsey
to
might as well
Shannon
be a
Sharp.
wide receiver. You could easily argue
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey might as well be a wide receiver because he really should might as well be a wide receiver.
That's why Shannon
Um,
Sharp
like
loves him so much.
Robert Johnson.
They're the exact same player. They're just great receivers. They're just bigger and a little bit slower than the outside
Mhm.
guys. But yeah, receiving tight end, I'm with you, Burke. I think he's the best. I'm with Aaron too. Aaron said it straight up. Yeah, I think he's the best receiving tight end.
Yeah,
I
think
just
it's
say
hard
not
to argue.
all
at this
around,
point.
but
That's fair.
that's just because blocking is blocking. But
No, that's fair.
in today,
I think Travis
he doesn't
Kelsey
have
would
to
even
block
admit
though.
he's not a
You
very
don't
good
have
blocker.
to, so good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've talked enough Chiefs. Let's go ahead and move on to the NFC a little bit. With the Niners losing last night to the Minnesota Vikings, big loss by the way. Kirk Cousins kind of keeps the Vikings season alive as well. But outside of the Eagles, who's the team to beat in the NFC? Because the Lions lost this week, the Niners lost this week. I mean, the NFC is kind of a toss-up once you get past Philadelphia, and I hate to be that guy. But I was last year. I'm going to be it this year. I'm the wet blanket when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles football. I don't think they're that good. I don't.
No.
I think they're good, sure. But as far as, like, greatness is concerned, I don't see the Eagles on that tier. I just
Okay,
don't.
you're in the middle of a dynasty.
don't
Let's
think
be
Niners-
easy on the
It's
guys,
hard.
okay?
It's hard.
God
When that's the
dang.
team I look
You're
at,
at the
it's
top
hard.
and act like you've never seen it before, Burke. What is this? You sound like a
I
Patriots
haven't.
fan.
I haven't seen it before. What do you mean? I'm a Kansas City sports fan. I haven't seen success in my whole life.
Exactly. So that means you shouldn't forget what it feels like to be those teams trying to get to that dynasty point.
I guess.
There's a reason we don't see it often.
Yeah, no,
Guys,
you're right.
you
You're
know,
right. You're right.
Ask him, yeah, me. It's enjoy it.
It's
but
it's you know, when you're a
They're a good
Steelers fan,
team.
you're a Lakers fan, you understand what success
Dodgers
feels
fan.
like. Dodgers fan, you understand what success feels like.
Yeah,
when
we're
you're a
far
Royals
from it,
fan
okay? We're
and a
far
Chiefs
from it.
fan, your whole life, gosh.
I will watch my dynasty walk out the door when number 7 left.
Fair
Okay,
enough. Fair
I knew
enough.
that was the end of
Big
me.
Ben. Love the women as much as football.
This guy, we can't just talk about the good career and the godly man that he is now, can we? No, we gotta bring up the past.
Yeah, dude, he's still blinking.
Okay, but go ahead. Continue what we were saying. Like, I understand the Eagles are good. Yes, the Eagles are good. I'm not going to say they're not good. I just don't think they're, like, on the same level as, like, Kansas City Chiefs are. Look, is anybody on that level right now is really my question, as far as the NFC is
Yes,
concerned.
the Eagles and the 49ers.
Niners. I think the Niners are real.
You think the Niners are real? You think Brock Purdy's
What?
legit?
Bro, I don't care. That team is stacked. Like that
He doesn't have to be
roster.
legit. He just has to put
is-
up more than 24 points.
Yeah.
But
As long
he
as
hasn't
doesn't
done
throw
that the last
interceptions
2
a
weeks.
game.
Okay. He's done it every. Okay, the last 2 weeks versus
his
what,
elbow
his
still ain't
first
100.
14.
Is that still, you know? I mean, without Debo Samuel, he hasn't done shit.
That's your only.
He hasn't done shit.
I mean, I guess we'll see.
I guess.
Still a good offense, you know. I mean,
I-
I don't think the Vikings are as bad as people think they are.
No,
I think they're better than last year.
Really, I don't know about that, but I do think the Vikings are legit. I think the Vikings are decent. I think Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback in the league. If I'm being honest, I think
I
he's.
think given a healthy Justin Jefferson, they're better than last year.
I can see that argument. It really comes down to the turnovers with Minnesota. If they don't turn the ball over, they're a good team. They're a really good team. If they don't turn the ball over, if they turn the ball over, they lose every game.
Well, I will go out and
really
say
good
Trent
pursuit.
Williams also did not play.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah, my bad.
No, you're the left tackle. The left tackle was out for. But
And yeah.
on that last drive, or the last quarter, I guess, Brock Purdy didn't look great. He didn't look like he's that guy that everyone's. Do you think Brock Purdy is legit? Like, do you think Brock Purdy is the quarterback of the future as far as the Niners are concerned? Because it's hard to believe that after watching these last week or two.
Say yes, but they have to have this good team around them because it felt like
Oh,
he
for
kind
sure.
of reverted back to his, kind of college gunslinger form when they were down.
Yeah.
So it feels like he's the kind of quarterback where, it's good to have a lead and he plays really well when they have a lead and they can run the ball and kind of waste the clock. But when you make him have to have a drive,
So
the
Aaron,
pressure gets.
answer me this: did you think the Chiefs could win a Super Bowl with Alex Smith?
No.
Do you think the Niners can win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy?
Yes.
Why? What's the difference
Because
between
their
Brock
defense
Purdy
is
and Alex
so
Smith?
much
That team
better
is
than the
so
Chiefs
much
defense.
better.
I guess
Yeah.
that you could argue the
As a whole
team is
so
better.
much better.
So if you put Alex Smith, the Chiefs version of Alex Smith, before the leg injury and all that, if you put that version of Alex Smith on this 49ers team, you would feel just as
Yes.
confident? Okay. That's fair.
All right, you asked Aaron that question.
asked
I'm gonna
Aaron
say
this
yes,
question.
but Aaron's an Alex Smith hater. So
Yeah,
let's
that's what I'm
let's
saying.
go and hear the
Like-
negativity.
Like, in my
I would say
opinion,
maybe like 90% as confident.
Brock Purdy is the Alex Smith of this generation. That's what it feels like to me. He's really good with a good supporting cast, but if you put a bad team around him, they're not doing shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
so
the
is
Chiefs
that what
were.
you mean by legit? Like, because you keep saying, "Oh, is Brock Purdy legit?" Do you
Is he?
mean,
Can he win
do
the
I think
Niners
he's
a Super
legit,
Bowl?
like a. And he
Can-
would,
Better
I
get
think
Williams
I
than
think there's
Brock
quite a
Purdy.
few quarterbacks that can with that Niners team.
Well, with that Niners team, yeah, that's fair.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what Aaron's trying to say is like
Okay.
with that team around him, with those stars, for $900,000 to start for your number
Oh,
one
for
quarterback,
sure. No, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's like it's good enough. But he just has to, like you said. Now, is he gonna go out there and in the big game take you on the game-winning drive? I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if you can
Okay.
say he's that guy.
We've seen enough of that
But-
from him yet.
Exactly. It's been the last 2 weeks. I don't. Other
You
than
could
that,
argue
the
he's
defense is
1-1.
usually stuffing people for 10 points.
Yeah.
All he has to do is score 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey
Well,
does that with that old line by
yeah.
themselves.
And
So,
on
like,
game-winning drives, you could argue he's 1-1 because last week, kicker should be able to make a 41-yard field goal. That's fair. I totally agree with that.
So, the Browns are arguably the #1 defense in the league.
That too.
And he played without
Chiefs are number 2 then.
And Ayuk, right? I think technically they are ranked number 2.
I think so. Yeah, Chiefs are amazing.
they are, I think, statistically.
But no, you're right. The Browns defense is the best in the league probably. And Brock Purdy let him down to a game-winning field goal position. The kicker just missed the field goal. That's very fair to say. But the rest of the game, he didn't look great. And the rest of this game, he didn't look great. It's cool to say he struggles against good defenses. That's fine. But when he only plays bad against a decent defense, in my opinion, that's a little bit of concern.
I mean, were you concerned about Mahomes when they played the Jets close?
No, because we've seen good, like, we have a good sample size of Mahomes at this point, you know? We have like 6-7 seasons of Mahomes being great. Brock Purdy, we really only have a season and a half. I think it's a little, I don't know. It's hard.
Does he not get a little grace to get, like, maybe a little bit larger?
Yeah, he's had
Sample
a season
size?
and a half, and he just lost his first regular season game.
2 straight though.
I can't
I'm just
now.
saying he just lost his first regular season game a week ago.
Yeah. It's just it's hard to believe in a team when they lose to other good teams. I don't know. That's the only teams they lose to. It's hard. I don't know because if they lose
to bad teams,
no, I know that's exactly yeah. No, I knew you were gonna come back with that. No, I don't want them to lose to bad teams either. But when every single time they play a solid team, they lose, it's a little bit of a concern.
See what other
I think
songs
this conversation
they-
could be a whole lot different if he doesn't. My bad. Go for it.
You said the Cowboys could easily beat the Bills, right?
And they beat the
that earlier?
Cowboys. Yeah, the Niners beat the Cowboys. I know the Niners beat the Cowboys. 42-10. Whoopty fucking do. I don't think the Cowboys are good either. That's my whole question: is who's the best team in the NFC? Because the NFC is kind of a dumpster fire right now. Outside of the Eagles, I don't know that there's really a single other team that's fighting for that #1 position right now. You could argue the Niners. You could argue them, but they just. You think the Seahawks? Really? The Seahawks is interesting. I kind of like the Seahawks talk. Let's talk Seahawks. Let's talk Seahawks. I like Seahawks talk. Geno Smith, you know? Tyler Lockett, you know? Kenneth Walker.
Drew Lock.
Well, he's a bench player, but
He's a great backup quarterback.
he's a great backup quarterback. Sure. The Seahawks are interesting, you know? They lost to the Bengals by only 4. They lost to the Rams pretty handedly, though. So that's it's a bit concerning. But they beat the Lions. That's about it. That's about it. They haven't really beaten any other good teams. But
They
but
beat
they
your Giants. They beat your Daniel Jones-led Giants.
can we quote with the Daniel Jones shit? I understand. I was wrong. Okay, I still have the glasses right here. They're wrong. I get it. Danny Dimes, no more. Okay? I understand. He stinks. Tyrod Taylor's better. That's been obvious this season. Okay? Okay?
He has 2 touchdowns this year, doesn't he?
Who?
I think I saw something that said Daniel Jones has 2 touchdowns all year. Tyrod threw 2 last game.
That's probably true, honestly. Daniel Jones has been absolutely terrible this season. He's been so bad. He's been so bad. The best thing that happened to the Giants this year was Daniel Jones getting hurt because he's been so awful.
Nothing like
Oh,
$100 million
my
quarterback
gosh.
hurt and
Yeah.
your team is better.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So that's a really good touchdown to interception ratio right there. The old 0.3 to 1. Yeah. The Seahawks. You think the Seahawks are the second best team in the NFC?
I didn't say that. I said they were a good team in the NFC.
They were a good team
I
in
put
the
them up
NFC?
there.
I'll tell you this much.
They-
If the Seahawks are a good team in the NFC, then the Chiefs better win the fucking Super Bowl this year. Because if they make it out of the AFC, then there's nobody meeting them at the end of the road.
True.
You don't know if that's true?
I think the 49ers and the Eagles could beat the Chiefs.
I don't think the 49ers could. I could maybe see the Eagles,
Man.
but even...
This guy, you give him a little success in there, and all of a sudden, he just the perception of life is just.
The NFC is...
You know, this whole story could be
garbage.
different if Brock Purdy does not tear his UCL last year against the Eagles. It could
Oh
be.
my God.
It
We're going to
could
blame
be.
the arm.
Good.
We're going to say it's the arm. Oh, his elbow hurt. Yeah, you know who else had Tommy John?
elbow
This
hurt.
motherfucking guy. I had Tommy John too. I feel fine, you pussy.
You could have played against the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Hell yeah. No.
It's hair
No.
hurt right when you did it.
No,
Soon as
please
you saw it,
don't.
you think you
Please
could
don't
stand in
make
that
me.
pocket and
Please don't
deliver a
make me
ball?
play in the NFL. Please don't make me play in the NFL. That would hurt.
Exactly. What are you gonna do? You're gonna hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey.
Well, of course. Oh yeah, if I had the best running back in recent NFL history back there with me, yeah, I'm gonna hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. What the hell?
With
Of
that
course.
defense 100% committing to the run,
Well, maybe I'll do play action.
including the corners.
Little
I
PA
think they were
waggle.
corner blitzes by the end of that
Little
game.
PA waggle with George Kittle running the flag route. Just boop,
They throw it left-handed.
boop, maybe. I could with George Kittle. He's gonna be wide open. He'll catch a wide open left-handed pass. Absolutely.
You'll need 10 blockers versus their 11 blitzers.
Speaking of the NFC, what are you guys' thoughts of the Lions? Joe? Lions?
I still like the Lions. I don't know
Still
how
like the
good
Lions.
they really are. I really don't know what their ceiling is. I just want them to be good. I like
Me too. See,
I like
Aaron
Dan
said
Campbell, and they're playing well.
Yeah.
Like
I'm rooting for the
I
Lions.
don't know if they're. I don't know if I'd put them up there. Like I'm with Aaron. I'm full on board with Eagles Niners. Like I think
Well,
the Niners are
right.
as legit as anybody.
But
I
Aaron also
don't
hates
know if
the
the Lions knock those top two, like crack those guys, but I mean, the NFC is also weak. So looking at it, I could totally see. Like it would not shock me if you see the Detroit Lions somehow go in as the 3rd seed.
I agree. I think the Lions could be the 2 seed. I love the Lions. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff.
Dan Campbell's the only good thing about that team.
Why do you hate
Amon-Ra
the
St.
Lions?
Brown's pretty good.
Yeah, Amon-Ra
I
St.
don't
Brown is
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
incredible. Yeah.
Or their running. It's mostly Jared Goff and just the franchise.
Jared Goff's having a good year. What's your hate on
Yeah,
Jared
he doesn't. He really
I
doesn't
don't
like
Jared
golf.
Goff.
Yeah,
I don't think he can win you a game. If you put it on him, I don't think he win you a game.
He beat the Chiefs 2 years ago. 3 years ago,
It'd
whatever
be a
it was.
different team.
Yeah, arguably worse receiving core. You're right. A totally different team.
With a much better head coach, offensive-mindedly.
Yeah, but worse defense.
Jared Goff take the Niners and win a Super Bowl.
Oh, if Jared Goff was the quarterback of the Niners, I would absolutely have them as the favorite in the NFC. Without
You
a
really
doubt.
just don't think Brock Purdy's that good.
I think Jared Goff's so it's a little bit of a mixture. I think Brock Purdy's overrated. I think Jared Goff's underrated. I think Jared Goff's a lot better than people give him credit for.
Jared Goff is a step above Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, I think he's a step below Kirk Cousins. I think he's right around the Kirk Cousins level. Joe, what do you think? Jared Goff, talent-wise.
You said a step above the Kirk Cousins level?
No, like right below. Like I think it goes Kirk, and then Jared Goff right under him.
I think he's better, and you just said just a step above Jimmy G. Aaron. Ah, dang, that's tough. I probably have him like right in the middle of that because I mean, even the Super Bowl run, he had a heck of a team with him.
He did. He did have a good squad.
A running game, like
He did have a good squad.
I don't know if he's like Aaron.
Todd
I kind
Gurley
of
was
with him.
nice.
Like if it's all on him, I don't know if he pulls it out. But yeah, that's a tough one for me actually.
See, I think Jared Goff is severely underrated as far as like his career goes. I think. Do I think the Rams would have made the Super Bowl? No. That same year that they made it with Matt Stafford and Zion. But do I think they'd be better off now? Yes.
I think the Rams would be better off now with Jared Goff as opposed to Matt Stafford.
Well, they didn't win the Super Bowl, did they?
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl.
Beat the Bengals.
You did completely really forget that? And Goff got to a Super Bowl, lost.
I was definitely thinking about the Golf Super Bowl where they lost.
Yeah. Stafford got to a Super Bowl as soon as he got out of Detroit, and that boy went and won it.
Yeah. Von Miller, OBJ.
I remember OBJ looking like he was about to be the Super Bowl MVP of that game.
Well, if Joe Burrow didn't get sacked on that last possession, then they would have won. I totally forgot about that. Holy shit. Yeah. No, you're right.
So does that change your take? You still think they'd be in a better spot? Do you think they win the Super Bowl?
Assuming they win the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, yeah, they'd be in a better.
Assuming they win.
Can't do that.
Fuck, man. Damn. Yeah, you may have a point. I still like Jared Goff. I think he's underrated.
I like Goff. I think he gets more shit than he deserves.
I don't think that really takes anything away from Jared Goff's career.
What, the Super Bowl win by the Rams?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't think that, like, as far as Jared Goff goes, I don't think that hurts his legacy. It's hard. It's weird saying Jared Goff and legacy in the same sentence because he's not exactly known as a profound quarterback across the league. But I do think Jared Goff is better than people give him credit for. I think he's better than people give him credit for. Do I think the trade worked out for the Rams? Yes. Do I think it worked out for the Lions? Yes. I do. I think Jared Goff is a really good quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback. I forgot that the Rams won the Super Bowl without him. Sure.
I like Goff. I'm with you, Burke. I don't think he deserves the shit that he gets.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
But,
thank you for saving me on this, because good gosh.
I really do. I know Aaron's never got Goff with a guy. Like, I give it to him. He's never thought it, and he's gonna stick with it.
Fair enough.
I agree with you. I don't think he's elite by any means.
No.
I'm not saying he's a game changer.
He's like a Joe Flacco, man.
But he's a very
what do you think of Joe Flacco?
What do I think of Joe Flacco? I think he's a step below elite. A step below elite.
Ooh.
A below elite. I don't think Joe Flacco is quite on that elite level. I think Jared Goff is very comparable to Joe Flacco. You give him a good defense and a solid supporting cast, I think Joe Flacco could get you or even win a Super Bowl.
He did.
Flacco did.
Do you mean Jared Goff?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Joe Flacco did it? I think Jared Goff could be in that same vein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he can in this. I think it's kind of a different league now.
What do you mean by that?
I think you would have to be like in a Brock Purdy situation, a rookie coming in on a rookie contract with a really good defense and really good supporting cast.
That's
I
fair.
think he's too old to do it now.
That's fair.
Well, if you take money out of it, I get what Burke's saying. He could be a Flacco guy. You give him an amazing team around him.
Yeah.
He's good enough to not completely fuck it up. But at the same time, I'm also with Aaron. With that contract he got, that dude ain't never gonna have what that Niners team got.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for sure. But
Good for Detroit.
I like Detroit a lot. I hope they have some sort of success. I think they won the division this year. The division isn't too hard. They have the Bears, the Packers, who have been struggling, and the Vikings, who they got a good win over the 49ers, but they're not super great. But yeah. What do you think of the Browns? I like the Browns. Defense is really good, but their quarterback doesn't seem to want to play this
Browns
season.
have always been overrated. Even when Baker took them to the playoffs, everyone had the Browns being good. What do? Still below the Steelers, and we are not even good. So
Steelers are on the
yeah.
up.
I'll always take the Steelers over the Browns. I don't care how good the Browns are. I'm taking us over them.
You have the Steelers over the Browns?
What? Period. Every day of the week, the Browns are awful.
What if Deshaun Watson actually wants to play?
Them? Realistically, no, I don't think we finish over them.
Okay.
Because we're just
okay.
we struggle.
Yeah.
But we are 10 times the organization that they are. We got better coaching than they do.
That's fair. That's fair.
It just, yeah. I'm always gonna take over the Browns.
Somehow the Browns are winning
Myles
games.
Garrett is basically Joe Thomas of their defense. He's gonna spend a career there, have a Hall of Fame career, and have nothing to show for it. Why? Because the other side of the ball is gonna be that bad.
It sure seems that way. You're not wrong.
Finish last in their division.
You think they'll finish last in their division?
I like to hear. That's what I'm talking about, Aaron.
I mean, I guess the Bengals are.
Steelers winning it.
Bengals are turning their ship around. The Steelers look a lot better than they did at the beginning of the year. And the Ravens, obviously, are looking really good right now. What the fuck is happening with Deshaun Watson? Can either of y'all give me an explanation for what the hell? Does he want to play for them? Does he not want to play for them? What's going on?
He's hurt, so they need to bring in, some massage therapists to work on him. Get his body and his mind right.
I don't think his lawyer's going to be very happy about that, Aaron.
Truth, he's got a hurt shoulder. And what else? With shoulder pain.
Joe, you got anything to add to that?
It's hard to follow that up. My honest take, I think a lot of it, outside of the, probably lack of human touch on the shoulder right now, I think honestly everything he went through, I think it took a hard mental game. I think it took a lot out of him. Yes, physically, he's probably fine. But I don't think people probably think about, forget guilty, not guilty, whatever you want to think, but what he had to go through and deal with and the scrutiny, and that is forever going. Big Ben had something linger, and it wasn't nearly the story that Deshaun Watson.
No, wasn't even.
And I think it took a more of a toll than what people think, and I think getting out of Houston was part of it to get away from that, but I think it's just going to be. I would love to see Deshaun Watson back to his normal self, but I think there's a very realistic chance we don't ever see what Deshaun Watson was back in Houston simply just
Yeah.
after this on like life-changing stuff going on for him.
Right.
Like,
Which is a real
I
shame.
think that has a big part.
Which in a way is a real shame. I don't want to say like it's a total real shame because if the stuff that was alleged of him doing is true, kind of a bad guy. But could you imagine what a Houston version of Deshaun Watson would look like on this Cleveland Browns team? Like Cleveland Browns would be scary right now. They would be a scary team to see if you had the same Deshaun Watson that you had back in like 2017, 2018. Because you put that same Deshaun Watson on. Do what?
You mean when they blew a 24-0 lead on the Chiefs?
Yeah, when they blew a 24-0 lead on the Chiefs. Yes, that is the era as to which I am referencing. Yes. But Deshaun Watson in the regular season was really good back then. And regular season Deshaun Watson, back then, on this year's version of the Cleveland Browns, would be really scary. Because they have one of the best defenses we've ever seen in a while. And they also have some pretty good wide receiving players as far as Amari Cooper's concerned. Running back's not bad with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. You'd obviously hope to have Nick Chubb in the mix, but unfortunately he's been injured, out for the year. But if you had the Houston version of Deshaun Watson on this Cleveland Browns team, I think they would easily run away with the AFC North. They'd be right up there with the Baltimore Ravens at the very least. Maybe even the Pittsburgh Steelers.
If that Deshaun Watson was on this Browns team with that defense, like, that'd be a team like. I know you guys are Chiefs fans, but like that'd be a team that you would want to see the Chiefs play. Like maybe in the regular season, doesn't have to be in the AFC Championship. I'm not saying
They'd
like
be
that
scary.
caliber, but like that'd be something to watch just to see like number one defense versus
Yeah.
Mahomes-led offense like that. Like that'd be.
Oh yeah,
That might be a heck of a game.
yeah, you're totally right.
But that ain't the case. They paid $230 million or whatever guaranteed. Like, I think that's what a lot of people. I think that's why some teams didn't shoot on him. It wasn't just the guaranteed money. I think some of it had to do with, or you guaranteed that if you spend that money, you're getting that guy.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that was also the same gamble everybody else was willing to take. So.
Yeah, and now they're third place in the AFC North behind the Ravens and the Steelers. Steelers winning a big game this week. Najee Harris playing really well. Kenny Pickett playing really well. Joe, it's your team. What did you see from the Pittsburgh Steelers this week that impressed you in any way?
It was kind of it wasn't expected to get the win, so the offense is what shocked me that we even scored. But it helps when the opening drive of the second half, when you're already losing, is a pick by the best defensive player in football, T.J. Watt. Like, one of our touchdown drives was like 15 yards. Like, it would have been very disappointing to not get a touchdown in that kind of situation. So, I don't know. I like seeing Pickett call audibles. I kind of like seeing him just ill, even on some of the throws, even if they're questionable. I still like that he just throws it and it looks like he just says, "F it, I'm doing it anyways." Like, I respect it because we're not good enough to win a Super Bowl. So with a defense like ours, when you get the chance, I think guys like Pickens, having Deontay Johnson back helped. I think that helped a lot more than people know.
Was this the first game back?
First game back, and I think he had like 5 catches for like around 80 yards, give or take. Which we were lucky to get Pickens 5 catches for 80 yards any given week. So,
Right.
you know, I was happy to see it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and go crazy about it, but I'm also not gonna act like I won't take that win when literally that's all we need to do. We gave up 17 points. Like with a defense like ours, that's all most of the time. That's gonna get the job done if we can at least get 20 points.
Right.
So I don't know. I hope we just take it and run with it. I think the Rams are decent, but we also didn't play a fully healthy Rams team either. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, the AFC North is a dogfight coming down to the end here. We got the Ravens with Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals are obviously getting up and going. Joe Burrow, hopefully Joe Burrow is healthy throughout the end of the season. But
Should be.
he should be, right? Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, the AFC North is up for grabs. AFC East up for grabs with the Dolphins and the Bills. AFC South, not as much. Jags kind of running away with it, I would think. And the same with the AFC West with the Chiefs. They're kind of running away with it. But Aaron, before we go, what are your thoughts on the AFC West and the Chiefs kind of leading the way? What?
I like it.
You like it? You're a big fan?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Big fan.
Big fan.
I mean,
Alright.
obviously, I think everybody kind of expected the Broncos to
Be
take
good.
a step forward from last
Yeah.
year, but
Yeah, the Broncos have not
I
looked
didn't
good. Chargers not looking great either. And the Raiders not looking good. So the Chiefs kind of running away with the division right now. Not really close between those four teams. Yeah, that kind of does it for the NFL. AFC.
Who would you guys, as a Chiefs fans, sorry to cut you off,
No, you're good.
who would you guys least likely want to see? Like, tomorrow, AFC Championship, just as of right now, if nothing were to change, just as of right now, who would make you most nervous? I have you guys coming out of the AFC. I had you guys coming out in the beginning of the year. But
Yeah, there's really no team that I'm super, super, super scared of. If I had to pick one, I guess I'd go with the Dolphins, just because their offense is so explosive.
we're gonna hate this. But the Bills,
The Bills.
the Bills.
That's fair.
for that, I was just wondering because, like, I think we can all agree that the AFC is the tougher of the two.
Yeah.
It's just like it's still not even fully halfway through the season yet. Like, there's still a lot of football to play, and obviously a whole lot of things that can change. But I feel like outside of you guys, I feel like right after you guys, it's similar to the AFC where you can throw a toss up. Like, you can see the Bills being as good of to be a number 2 seed. You can also see the Dolphins being a number 2 seed. You also have like Burrow and the Bengals, who you just at this point just seem like you really can't count them out because they have Burrow.
You
Like,
can't, yeah.
it's just a toss up, regardless. It seems like. But I was just wondering from your guys' perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of any man's game as far as the AFC goes. Chiefs are the clear-cut best team, in my opinion. But I feel like anybody else could kind of come up and sneak up on them and beat them. That's what's kind of concerning for me. Is like the Dolphins could easily come up and sneak up on them, and us not see it coming. The Bills, same thing. Ravens, Bengals, Jags.
Yeah, that's why the AFC is tougher. Is because you can
Yeah.
actually. It's kind of realistic to believe like it's not shocking to think the Bengals could beat you guys
Right,
or
right.
something like that. Like, it's tougher, but I don't know. The Ravens, Lamar's playing his butt off the last 2 weeks. So
No, I agree. The
I don't know
Ravens
if they'll
are really
be.
good right now.
I'm not going to be sold on them and say they still need to perform in the playoffs, which is why I have you guys coming out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, Lamar hasn't won a playoff game before, so I think the Chiefs definitely have the advantage as far as that goes. But as far as the rest of the teams go, I mean, it's really kind of a toss-up. It's super close between them all. It's in my opinion, it's the Chiefs, and then everybody else in the AFC. That's just kind of what it looks like. Aaron, am I wrong by thinking that?
View it that way. If there was, like an Eagles or a 49ers in the
Yeah.
AFC, just because it's the Chiefs. So
No, I totally agree with that. Before we go, we can talk a little baseball real quick if you want, Joe. Obviously, the MLB is heating up with the World Series right around the corner, and the the Rangers have made it, but the NLCS is going on right now between the Diamondbacks
Phillies
and
are down,
the
I
Phillies.
think.
Are they down right now?
Yeah. I think it's 4-2 in the 7th. Maybe 8th now, since last time I looked.
Yep, 4-2 in the 8th, top of the 8th. So, assuming the Diamondbacks hold out, win this game against the Phillies, we have a Rangers Diamondbacks World Series. Who do you have winning? Joe.
It's tough. That's tough. I'm gonna go Rangers.
I
But
like it.
I want to say Rangers. I want like a guy like Corey Seager and them to win, but at the
Right.
same, I also don't want the inner division of the Dodgers to win it
Yeah.
and the Diamondbacks. But I could see the Diamondbacks pulling it out. They might have a better. The Rangers bullpen is not good.
It's
not
not. It's
good.
really bad. Yeah.
Like
It's
they weren't
very
good during the
bad.
season. They either have a great game or an abysmal game in the
Right.
playoffs. There's no in between.
Right.
Like them getting out of Houston the way they did, it sure as heck helps when your offense gives you an 8-run cushion or a
Mm-hmm.
6-run cushion and just constantly puts up runs. So like
Yeah.
that's what makes me nervous. Like if your offense in a World Series, we all know it ain't most common to be seeing blowouts in World Series games. But those are all tight games. Like I don't know if the Rangers have the bullpen. Like I think the Rangers have a better lineup than the D-backs. I don't know if their bullpen can keep the D-backs down. So
Yeah.
Diamondbacks, they have a better staff. So I'm a believer, man. Pitching at the end wins the championships.
So you got D-backs over Rangers, assuming the D-backs win.
So I'm gonna take a flyer. I'll go D-backs. I feel like it's
Okay.
gonna be a heavy. It's gonna lean towards the Rangers, but let's
Yeah.
go with the West.
Yeah, the D-backs are scary. Rangers bullpen not very good. But I think at the end of the day, the better team is going to win. I think the Rangers are a better team than the D-backs, so I'm going to go with them. Aaron, any thoughts?
Can't fight you on that.
all I know is my prediction at the beginning of this season about the Royals was correct, and they did in fact lose 100 games.
They did. They were really bad, actually.
Bravo. That was your one hot take, and it nailed
They
it.
were, I think, the worst team in franchise history, if I'm not mistaken. So,
You broke that record.
I think so. I think we broke the franchise record for losses. Yeah, because I think the franchise record for losses before this season was 104, and we lost 106 games. So
I was really hoping for the Phillies to be in the World Series, though.
I
When they
was
were
too.
I was pulling for the
Yeah.
Phils and pulling for them to win it all too. But
Yeah, I wanted Phil's Rangers,
106.
but it is what it is, and honestly, I'm just happy to see the Rangers made it this far. Good for them. You know what I mean?
Do they go 0 for 3 or do they pull this one out? That's the hot question.
Yeah, that is a big question. I personally think the Dodgers should win, especially if they play the Diamondbacks, which it seems like that's the way it's kind of going. It seems like it's going to be Rangers Diamondbacks in the World Series. Assuming that's the case, I don't see why the Rangers would lose. But like you said, Joe, the Rangers bullpen is really, really bad. So anything can happen.
Toss up. That's for sure.
Unless y'all have anything to add, I think that'll do it for this episode of Swivel Chair Sports. So, I've been your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, here with my co-hosts, Aaron and Joe. Go ahead and say bye, guys.
Hi, guys.